So I've never done a video before, so please excuse the camera angles and me trying to juggle the camera and putting these two together. So I already have the top portion put together and sewn. And then I have my inner lining. So this is going to be the inside when they put their foot in. And then I don't interface the sole. What I do is for extra padding, I just put another piece of fleece that I use for the lining, and it's kind of like cushiony. So I use that, and then the Sherpa will be on top, and it'll give it what I think is a decent amount of padding. And then for the bottom of the sole, I'm not using the Grippy Dot fabric on this one. I'm actually using some Tough Tech. So we're going to put these together. What we're going to want to do, we're going to want to flip it. So this is going to be one. It's going to act as one whole piece. You can, if you want, you can baste it with a 1/8 seam allowance. That way when you actually sew it on there with the 1/4 seam allowance, it won't show. So this is going to be right side up. Remember, right side is the part that's going to be on the bottom of the shoe. And then we're going to get our piece here, and we are going to place it with the main fabric touching. So let me put that there. So then the inner lining part's going to be up. And then we're going to get our sole part. And it's going to be, this is considered the right side. This is the wrong side. So it's going to be right side towards that lining. And we're going to sandwich that little shoe with the sole, main, and then the lining. So let me sandwich this together, and then I will be back to show you. So this part's going to be very tricky. As you can see, I did the heel part, and I'm just making sure I have all the layers enclosed there, and then the toe portion. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to slowly work my way and keep enclosing this, and just sandwich it all, making sure we grab all the layers, especially the main layer here. Same on the other side, and then I'll show you where to leave the opening for the hand stitching later. All right, finally, it's all sandwiched in. Use as many clips or pins to hold it together, because it will not be easy. So what I like to do, I like to distinguish once I do it on this side, because I'm going to repeat on this side, what is going to be the inner part of the foot. So I'm going to allow 1.5 to 2 inches, nothing smaller, because to flip it inside out, it's going to be difficult. So 1 to 2 inches. So I usually have a couple clips as a guide. And then on this shoe, I will do the opposite side. That way it'll be both on the inside of the feet when I do the hand stitching, just in case it's not like perfect. So I'm gonna sew around from here all the way around very slowly with a sharp needle, and then I'm gonna leave the 1.5 to 2 inches open so I can pull it through. Remember, be sure you catch all the different linings inside, because if you don't, we're going to have to unpick and do it all over again. All right, I'll be back. Here's a little bit of how I'm going slowly, trying to make sure I grab all the different layers in there, staying with my 1/4 inch seam allowance. Oh, here we are at the end. Here's where it starts. And that was where my mark was. So it's about 1 inch or 2 away. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stitch a couple more, then back stitch. And then I am going to check and make sure that I caught all the layers before I trim to flip over. All right. So here it is. I'm about to trim this seam allowance as close to the edge as I can. And if you can see, I almost missed it here, but that's okay because this is when we turn it over, what I will be hand stitching closed. So let me trim this and then I'll show you how to reverse it or invert it. Okay, let me just remind you, you don't want to skip on trimming the seam allowance because that's what's going to give you the shape when you flip it over. So now, let me see if I can place this somehow. Okay, I'm going to try and flip this as best I could while on camera here. So I'm going to get the two outer layers, which is the sole and the main fabric. And I'm going to push it out one side at a time. And it is a little difficult at first. Trust your stitching. Just keep working at it. Sorry, the camera fell. But anyways, here I am, that last little bit. And I pull it out. And I just use my hand to make sure all the seams are out. This is the hand stitch part. And I'm just going to keep working my way through. Everything feels like it's caught. Everything in there is all situated. And then we have this hole. So you repeat with the other booty. And then I'll come back to hand stitching. Well, actually, repeat with another booty and then I'll make another video because I don't know how well this is going to upload. And I'll show you the hand stitching part.